I don't think this little guy is going to be able to get high enough for this video.
Welcome to Galveston Unscripted.
Drone shots alone were not going to do this video justice. We are exploring Galveston's aviation history. Let's head over to Scholes Field and hop on a plane and get in the air. And a huge thanks to this video sponsor for making this video possible, the Daily News, Texas' oldest newspaper. At first glance, you may not notice the geographical significance of Galveston Island, especially for national defense. If the need ever arises, Galveston's geographic location makes it a perfect place to defend the coast of Texas or launch an aerial or naval attack, and it's been used for such in the past century. Galveston has been used as a hub of military operations for centuries. As far back as the Texas Revolution, the Texas Navy and then the United States Navy used Galveston as a base of operations. Between 1903 and 1914, from the time the Wright brothers invented the airplane and flew it in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, in the beginning of the First World War, the possibilities with aviation changed everything, especially for warfare and national defense. The United States Army Air Corps, a separate branch of the Army, was created by the National Defense Act of June 4, 1920. And by the early 1920s, Fort Crockett was home to a military facility of the United States Army Coast Artillery Corps to protect the coast from potential attacking naval vessels, and the United States Army Air Corps 3rd Attack Group to protect the Texas coast from the air. Daring pilots often use the expansive open beaches to take off and land their aircraft. The location of the modern-day Galveston Municipal Airport, known as Scholes Field, used to be a popular watermelon field and a cemetery, but we'll get into that later. It became a perfect location for these aviators to take off and land, even before concrete runways were constructed. Oyster shells and gravel runways were suitable for the small planes of the day. An official airport was established in 1931 to support Galveston's growing gambling and entertainment industry. In 1932, Fort Crockett became the inaugural operational unit to receive 11 A-8 Shrike attack aircraft, making the debut delivery of the military's first all-metal mono-wing aircraft to a forward operational unit. In 1934, the 3rd Attack Group was relocated to Barksdale, Louisiana. Before the Second World War, the Galveston Municipal Airport was temporarily named Corrigan Airport for Galvestonian Douglas "Wrongway" Corrigan. Douglas Corrigan was a remarkable American aviator, famous for his audacious 1938 transcontinental flight. Corrigan was a proficient aircraft mechanic who contributed to building Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. Corrigan had been denied permission to fly from New York to Ireland. He claimed he had a navigational error and skillfully piloted his aircraft over the Atlantic Ocean, a journey that completely defied his filed flight path. But he made the trip nonetheless, a true Galvestonian move.
This is awesome.
In 1942, at the outbreak of World War II, the airport was redesignated as a United States Army Air Corps base and named Galveston Army Airfield. Multiple 6,000-foot hard-surface runways were constructed at the airport to accommodate Army aircraft, along with a few shorter runways to accommodate smaller planes. Some of the same 1940s concrete runways are still in use to this day. In January 1943, Galveston Army Airfield was officially activated. Some of the first missions to fly out of the Galveston Army Airfield were in search of submarines, flying anti-submarine squadrons over the Gulf of Mexico, as there were plenty of German U-boats in the Gulf of Mexico during World War II. The United States military constructed this airfield at a cost of $7 million, and at its peak, it had 2,500 personnel. While constructing the airport, the United States military wasn't only taking over a watermelon field with a couple of runways.
There's some family ranch cemeteries over on the west end. There are a lot of them that have disappeared, but probably the big one is Magnolia Grove. When World War II came, Scholes Airport was built, and the cemetery is half of it is underneath the runway to Scholes Air Force Field, and half of it is under the 18th green of Moody Gardens Golf Course.
After World War II ended in November of 1945, the ownership was deeded back to the city of Galveston, and the airport was renamed Scholes Field, in honor of airport manager and aviation pioneer Bob Scholes, one of the first Texas aviators. While making this video, I was confronted with the fact that I didn't actually know how to say the name of the airport. I hear most people refer to it as Scholes Field. However, when checking with the airport, Some of the airport officials refer to it as Scholes Field, after Bob Scholes. So I'm going to go with the name Scholes, but both pronunciations are perfectly acceptable. Bob Scholes had been flying planes since the 1920s. He even used East Beach as his runway. He would give rides and perform daring aerial maneuvers over Galveston Island. He was eventually ordered by the city of Galveston to cease his bold demonstrations. By the 1950s, Scholes Field was ready to support the growing entertainment industry in Galveston. With a little over 966 acres of bolstered airport that could handle almost any aircraft, the airport became a regular destination for commercial and private flights. In the 1950s and 60s, the expansive runways were even used as a racetrack for car racing. Over the years, the airport had seen various commercial passenger airlines come and go. Commercial airliners stopped coming to Galveston in the late 1970s due to lack of demand, but the airport has remained self-sufficient. At the airport today, you will see tons of helicopters, transferring crews and supplies to offshore oil platforms. The airport also plays a significant role in medical transportation, with daily flights bringing patients to nearby hospitals, such as UTMB.
A huge thank you to our pilot, Emma, for giving us an amazing ride around Galveston. I am sure there is some aviation history I missed in this video. If you know of any, please let me know in the comments. I am more than willing to explore Galveston's aviation history even more, as long as I get to ride in an open cockpit biplane. If you learned anything in this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and follow us on all social media. We are everywhere. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Galveston Unscripted.